Good morning, class. Now today I am going to take your first class of half yearly, after half yearly, and it is theme for Unit 3, and the name of the chapter is Circulatory System. Now in this chapter I am going to explain you what thing is circulated and which material is responsible for the circulation and which part of the organ of our body, which organ of our body is responsible for this circulation. Student, we all know that we take food and in digestive system, and this food broken down, and after breaking of this food it is transported throughout our body, and with this food oxygen is also transported throughout our body and in digestive system, and at the same time carbon dioxide and excretory material is also transported from each cell to the excretory system of the body. Now how these materials transported? These materials are transported through the system. That system is called circulatory system, and the material which is responsible for the circulation of these material is the blood. Through the blood, nutrients and oxygen transported throughout our body, and at the same time waste materials are also transported from the cells of our body to the excretory system.
Start.
Now, so that I am going to explain you what is blood and how it is made. Blood is the connective tissue and alkaline connective tissue because its pH is more than 7, and the composition, it is made up of two parts, liquid part and corpuscles or cells part. The liquid part of the blood is called plasma, and the corpuscles there are three corpuscles: red blood corpuscles, white blood corpuscles, and platelets. With these materials blood is made, and so that at the same time there are some antigens are also present in the blood. And on the basis of presence or absence of antigens, our blood is divided into 4 groups. Carl Steiner is the name of the scientist who searched on these blood groups, and he divided the blood into 4 groups: blood group A, blood group B, blood group O, and blood group AB, on the presence or absence of antigens. In blood group A, antigen A is present on red blood cells, while in blood group B, antigen B is present on red blood cells. In blood group O, no antigens are present, whether it is neither antigen A nor antigen B is present in blood group O, and in blood group AB, both antigens are present, whether it is antigen A or antigen B. And transfer of the blood from one person to other person is called blood transfusion. There is a need of the blood transfusion when injury is seen, and any such emergency is seen, then at that time the need of blood transfusion is there, so that doctors are not allowed to transfuse the blood directly into the person's body, because this blood transfers to the patient's body directly into the veins, so that so that the blood group should be matched with a healthy person and the person's blood group. If it is not done, then clotting occurs, and suddenly the death cause because of the unmatched blood group. So what type of blood groups are matched or transfused to which type of person? Blood group A transfuses to blood group A and blood group O. For the blood group A, the person having blood group A can accept the blood group of person A having person blood group having person A and blood group O, and the person having blood group B can accept the blood of group B or O, and person having blood group O can accept the blood group of only O group, not A and B. Only he, A or C, can accept the blood of O group. But this blood group, because of the absence of antigen, can donate the blood to all the groups, so that it is called universal donor. The person having blood group O can donate the blood to blood group, the persons having blood group O A, person having blood group B, or person having blood group AB, so that they are called universal donor. And person having blood group AB can accept the blood of each group. The person having blood group A or B, O or AB. Hence they are called universal recipient. This is all about the blood group and blood transfusion. Now I will explain you how this blood transported, which organ is responsible for the transfusion of this blood. Heart and blood vessels are responsible for the circulation of blood. So let's study the structure of heart. We all know that our blood is 4-chambered organ. 2 auricles and 2 ventricles are present. These are the 2 auricles and these are the 2 ventricles. Our heart is divided into 2 parts, right part and left part. This is the right auricle, this is the left auricle, this is the right ventricle and this is the left ventricle. And at the same time, this is the chambers of the heart, and these chambers are responsible for circulating, pushing the blood. These auricles are responsible for collecting the blood and from various parts of our body, and these ventricles are responsible for pushing the blood to all parts of the body. Now, through which part the blood comes into these auricles? These are the vessels. Vessels are responsible for carrying the blood from whole parts of the body and for circulating the blood to whole parts of the body. So there are 3 types of vessels: arteries, veins and capillaries. These are the 3 vessels which are responsible for circulating or collecting the blood throughout the body. Arteries are circulating the blood. They always carry oxygenated blood from the heart and circulating to whole parts of the body. And veins are responsible for collecting the deoxygenated blood from whole parts of the body and pouring it into the right auricle. And capillaries are the vessels which joins the arteries to the veins. These capillaries joins arteries to the vein. They collect the blood from the arteries and supplies to the cells, and then collect the blood from the cells and supplies it to the veins. So this is the work of capillaries, and this is how it joins the arteries to the veins. Arteries are having very shorter lumen. This is the structure of artery. It is a thick walled, having shorter lumen. But veins are thin walled, having broader lumen than the arteries. So that the blood which flows into the arteries are under the pressure, but blood that flows into the veins are not under the pressure. And valves are present in the veins, so that function of valves to prevent the backflow of the blood in the veins. Because we all know that veins works against the gravity. Veins collect the blood from all lower parts of the body and pouring it into the heart, so that it works against the gravity, and there is a chance of backflow of the blood. And to prevent this backflowing of the blood, there are valves are present in the veins, and so that these valves prevent the backflow of the blood in the veins. This is the structural function of the artery. This is the structural difference between the arteries and vein. And now the functional difference is that it distributes the blood from whole parts of the body. It distributes oxygenated blood from whole parts of the body, whereas veins collects deoxygenated blood from whole parts of the body and pour it into the right auricle. This is all about the blood vessels. Now there are some valves are present in the in heart. First is the cuspid valve. Cuspid valves are present between the arteries and veins. Auricles and ventricles. There are two cuspid valves, bicuspid and tricuspid. Tricuspid valve is present on right side, whereas bicuspid valve is present on left side. The function of these two valves is to prevent the backflow of the blood from the ventricles to the auricles. As the blood flows from the auricles to the ventricle, and at the same time ventricle pushes the blood. Right ventricle pushes the blood to the lungs, whereas left ventricle pushes the blood to whole parts of the body. So at that time these valves prevents the backflow of the blood from the ventricles to the auricles. This is the function of cuspid valve. And the second valve is the semilunar valve. These semilunar valves are present in aorta and pulmonary artery. Aorta is coming out from the left ventricle, whereas pulmonary artery coming out from the right ventricle. These semilunar valves are present in pulmonary artery and aorta. Aorta is the largest artery, and the function of these valves is the same. They also prevents the backflow of the blood from the aorta or pulmonary artery to the ventricles. This is all about the valves present in the heart. Explain you which vessels entering into the heart and which vessels leaving the heart. Is superior and inferior vena cava. These two vessels enters into the heart. Superior vena cava collects the blood from upper parts of the body and pouring the blood into the right auricle. At the same time, inferior vena cava collecting the blood from lower parts of the body and pouring it into the right auricle. And at the same time, pulmonary vein also entering into the heart, but into the left chamber of the heart, left auricle. It collects the blood from the lungs and then pouring the oxygenated blood from the lungs to the left auricle. So these three vessels entering into the heart: superior vena cava, inferior vena cava, and pulmonary vein. And coronary vein also responsible, but it not leaving the heart. Its coronary artery supplies the blood to the walls of the heart, so that it is also coronary vein also comes into the vessels which leaving the which entering the heart. So there are four vessels: superior vena cava, inferior vena cava, pulmonary vein, and coronary vein. These are the four vessels which entering into the heart. Now the blood vessels which leaving the heart. The first blood vessel is the dorsal aorta. Dorsal aorta is also leaving the heart. It collects the blood from the left ventricle and distributing it distributing the blood to all parts of the body. And pulmonary artery is coming from the right ventricle. It collects the blood from the right ventricle and distribute the deoxygenated blood to the lungs. And at the same time, coronary artery supplies the blood to walls of the heart. Now there are three vessels which leaving the heart: dorsal aorta, pulmonary artery and coronary artery. Pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein, these two vessels are working against their name. We all know that arteries always carry oxygenated blood, but pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood, and veins carry always deoxygenated blood, but pulmonary vein always carry oxygenated blood. So make it very clear that pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein works against their work. So they are the exception of arteries and veins. So make it very clear while studying which type of blood flows through the pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein. Now this is all about the circulation of blood. We will meet with the next topic of this chapter. Till then, thank you.